the hell did I just watch? Okay, this is The Bath. This is another Russian movie. This one's quite different from the ones I've watched previously. This is it's primarily stop motion with these little makeshift puppet figure thingies. But there's also a variety of different, there's cutout animation, and they put some live action clips in there, and you even see the director of the movie appear as himself, live action. This is a very experimental movie. Very much. This is probably. So we're probably going to be seeing a lot more experimental stuff as we move forward. But this is. This is kind of what's going to start it off. It's well, it's definitely quite different from all the ones I've watched so far. And it was an interesting little experience, even though I barely even understood what was going on most of the time. Here's what I can gather from the story. It's about this. I guess it's. So the story is there's this inventor who creates this time machine that can bring in someone from the future, and he tries to get funding from some business, but they basically refuse to give him the funding. And there's all these stuffy suit characters. And then when the lady from the future arrives, she has everyone enter the time machine or something and go forward into 2030, so a little over a decade from now, the time I am recording this. But all the stuffy suit characters are they're kind of rejected. So I think this is supposed to be a kind of I'm sorry, this is just so hard to explain. This is the most confusing movie I've watched so far. Even more confusing than Night Before Christmas. But I think it's mainly for people more familiar with the history of communism, and it's mostly for the Russian folk of the time, because I think they were still recovering from the Stalin era, and I guess all the stuffy business suit people were they represent the Stalinist folks, and it's about all the free-minded people rising up above those folks. And very unique experimental animation. It's very creative. There's a lot of little visual gags with the animation style. Let's see. But it was interesting. I think It's a shame they had to talk so much because I had to like read the subtitles, so it took a lot of, I wasn't able to concentrate that much on the animation. So I guess a general message you can take away from this story is how the freedom of expression and free thinking should be valued over these strict rules of like working and working for the big guy. So you might say in a way this is kind of a response to that movie, The Key, because that movie did raise a good point about like you gotta work for your happiness, but that one kind of seemed to be more like, in order to be happy, you gotta, work for somebody else. So it didn't have much of a, it kind of felt like they were telling you to just do the work, and individuality be damned. You gotta work. That's pretty much the most I got out of that one. I mean, yeah. But yeah, this one talks a little more about, the freedom of expression and, doing what you want to do, or, just a little more about, like, personal freedom. I'd say, this movie should kind of be watched. Like, anyone who watches The Key should probably watch this movie afterward. But yeah, I do think there's a valuable message in there. I'm not sure how well guided it is due to how they still like embrace communism. I think it's basically them trying to reject the evil side of communism and try to value the good intentions that brought it about in the first place. Again, I am not an expert with the history of this movement, so I wouldn't know a whole lot about like the messaging and stuff. But yeah, this was, if nothing else, it was very enjoyable to watch the crazy animation stuff, all the experimental stuff. Yeah, this was fun. I liked how they just went all out, they just didn't hold back on being, crazy and, absurdist, if you will. But as you may notice, I'm a little lost for words with, yeah, this is, it was definitely a strange one, but I guess that's the idea. Yeah, yeah, that pretty much sums up that sums up what I even have to say about this. This was just a really weird, but very interesting movie. It's hard to really fathom everything that happened, and I find hard to make mouth words and thought words and think of mouth words. I think my brain is getting a little scrambled. So, but yeah, very interesting movie. I think my rating would probably be, I think I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10, cause mostly for like the unique, crazy, absurdist animation. I mean, I'm almost tempted to give it a lower rating just for being so hard to follow, but I don't know. I feel it deserves an 8. I mean, it's not the best movie I've ever seen, but it's a very interesting one, and interesting to watch. Probably don't want to watch this movie if you're high, or maybe you do. Your decision. Yeah, if you're interested, definitely check this movie out. If you're into that experimental, absurdist animation style, yeah, definitely give this a watch. And yeah, if you want, maybe smoke a joint before you start the movie and keep smoking while you're watching it. Maybe throw in a couple drinks. Yeah, this has been an interesting review. So yeah, as usual, if there's anything else I want to add, I'll put it in the comments. But yeah, I'm finding it very difficult to think of what to say about this movie. So yeah, I guess I'll just leave it at that. Mash it and smash it, signing off.